Male-dominated societies are safer on average than female-dominated societies. Now, as you can see, I'm kind of walking through what is deemed to be one of the most dangerous ghettos in Asia. They even have their food just roaming around like this. Got the chickens wild out there. Oh, look at that, it's so cool. But actually I probably shouldn't walk down there. I don't think I'll walk too far in there, but I'm in a male-dominated society, and I'm in what is known as one of the most dangerous ghettos in Asia. Yet I feel totally safe walking around here. People aren't harassing me, men aren't angry, and if you have a look at some of the countries that there's some countries that like Thailand, Philippines, I would say in Asia, Colombia. These are female-dominated societies. They do have correlations with a large amount of violence, male-on-male violence. There's also lots of women that sleep around in these countries, and men aren't treated with the respect that they deserve. There's a lot of connections there, correlations I would say, with female-dominated societies like Thailand developing things like Muay Thai and celebrating men bashing the crap out of each other. When you think about it, it's such a backwards, Stone Age, medieval thing to do. It's like there's nothing masculine about it. All you're doing is bashing each other up and hurting yourself and injuring yourself for the enjoyment of women. And when you think about it, women in these societies, they enjoy men killing each other. Thailand is prime example. Colombia is another violent society where they carry weapons everywhere and men are always killing each other. Whoa. You notice a direct correlation between violence and female-dominated society, and it's connected to the fact that women, they consume resources while men produce those resources. And in poorer societies, the poorer it is, the least amount of resources there are to go around. And if it's female-dominated, women don't respect work and competency. They just demand resources regardless of what they've produced in their life. On average, women don't produce even a fraction of what men do, especially in female-dominated poorer societies. Now in countries like mine, Australia, the violence, they can get away with it because we're so much wealthier. But in a poorer society, socialism, which is connected to feminism, and it's also connected to higher rates of trans people running around and gays running around as well. Now I've got no problem with gays, but there's a clear correlation, especially if you look at Thailand as an example. As a country that is extremely violent, the men are treated not only like second-class citizens, but slaves within their own country. Men are angry at each other, always fighting each other. They create blood sports where men hurt each other all the time. Resources that men produce are being stolen from them. And women, especially women in countries like Colombia and Thailand, they sleep with any foreigner that has enough money that would fly into the country and hang out with them. And that is, well, it's disgusting. Whereas, and if I was to be walking around in a female-dominated third world developing countries ghetto, the men would see me as an enemy, and it probably wouldn't be safe for me to be here. Whereas in a male-dominated society like this one, the men don't see each other as an enemy. It's more of a competency-based society where if you work hard and you earn money and you produce things, you're treated with the respect that you deserve. Whereas in a female-dominated poorer society, your wealth is going to be stolen from you through socialism and anything connected to that. There's also a correlation between religions. I've noticed that Catholic countries or Christian countries, this religion doesn't necessarily mean anything anymore. They've become more havens for degeneracy and trans people and gays, and while effectively living off the hard work, the labor, pretty much sitting on the backs of men in these societies. It's quite disgusting on multiple levels. So what's the point of me here talking about these things? Well, the point is, this is a male-dominated society. I'm in one of the most dangerous ghettos. You can see this place. It's a bit of a mess. One of the most dangerous ghettos in Asia, in a male-dominated society. Two guys just walk by me, no problem. I even have a motorbike go past and go, sorry. I saw a little crash where two cars had a minor little ding. They had little dents. If this happened in Australia, both of the men would get out and start yelling at each other. It might even turn into violence. But here, I saw these two guys get out. They're like, oh, they looked at it. It's not a very big dent. They shook each other's hands and smiled and said, it's okay. It's only a dent. It's not going to affect anything. It's only a vanity metric, because my vanity doesn't matter, because I'm here doing real work. Male-dominated societies are less likely to be based on vanity metrics because they're less likely to really care what women think. Female-dominated society is like, oh, I got a dent in my car, that means that girls aren't going to like me, I need to peacock, and it's going to make me look poorer to the women, and I'm not going to get laid. It's a big deal. Everything's a big deal in female-dominated societies, and it's connected because it's connected to the stress levels of men in these societies, because what they produce is not theirs, and that's why it's connected to socialism. It's also connected to Catholicism, Christianity, and then it's also connected to higher amounts of prostitution, trans, LGBT people demanding more rights in these societies. If anything, a LGBTQI blah 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 person has more rights in a female-dominated society than a hard-working man that is getting in the fucking dirt and digging trenches, building buildings, making sure the lights are on, getting into your toilet and cleaning out the clogs in or the blockages so that you can use your toilet, making sure the plumbing is working, the electricity is running, making sure the water's running, fixing leaks in your roof, getting on the roof at midday in 30-degree heat. This is what men do. Fixing the roads, making sure that these roads were paved by men. I didn't see it happen, but I know that men did this. I don't see teams of women paving roads and making sure the footpaths don't have holes in them. These are men's jobs. Men Men keep society running. And in female-dominated societies, they use the government and politics to steal your wealth. So what's the point of this? Just bitching about female-dominated societies? No, that's not the goal here. It is for you guys, when you go traveling, sure, you can go to a shithole like Thailand, a female-dominated shithole where they allow their men to have their wealth stolen through a socialist, disgusting society. They convince their men that bashing each other up for the entertainment and violence, male-on-male violence, is acceptable. You arrive in these countries like Thailand where there's trannies and gays everywhere that know that you're disadvantaged because you're going to have trouble finding decent girls. So they think, oh, well, he's going to be so horny, maybe he'll try a tranny this time, which is, it's just so annoying for men. We don't want trannies harassing us or pretending to be women on dating apps or cock blocking us in the nightclubs. It pisses us off. But in these female-dominated societies, men like us, we don't have a say. So what I recommend you do is not travel to these shitholes. Colombia, Thailand. I recommend you try other countries that are more male-dominated. You know, like this guy. Look at this hard work. Look at this guy's. Look at that hard work. That's a man. Look at what he's doing here. He just picked up all of these massive Besser blocks. It looks like he's paving down there. I think he might be working for the construction workers down the bottom. So they're probably bricklayers. I saw the other guys mixing up some mud as well. I used to work in construction, by the way. I did an apprenticeship in plumbing in construction. I don't see women picking up those bricks. Let's have a look at what he's doing. But you see, these are the guys that build society. See? There they are there. So he's moving them all the way down to where I was before. That's hard work, and it's like midday, and I'm sweating, so it's hot here. You know, these are the guys that, and they're the bricks there. You can see them. There you go. So he's building yeah. It could be more like a load-bearing wall. But the point I'm trying to make is that it might be a little bit more difficult, a little bit slower in a male-dominated society, but you're more likely to find more conservative, higher quality girls. And I think if you're unhappy with America, you're unhappy with living in the West and the socialist, disgusting society that it's become, that hates men, I don't recommend that you go and support another female-dominated poorer society just because you have more purchasing power. You're effectively perpetuating the same shit, aren't you? Pick out a male-dominated society like this one that is safer. I also noticed that, yes, safer, the girls are more conservative, might be a little bit more slower, but if you're a Western man, you come along and you have higher value when you arrive. And it's better for the world, I would say, for men in general, if you support male-dominated societies by traveling there. If you're going to go fly somewhere to sleep with girls, pick a male-dominated society to go sleep with those girls. That's what I recommend. The female-dominated societies are more likely to trigger wars. When the economy starts to slow, men are more likely to start tearing each other apart within these societies. These societies are then more likely to wage war on societies nearby, countries nearby. These are all female-dominated societies. Look at what happens when a country gets invaded or goes to war. The women don't grab arms, they run away to the next country the country next door is like, oh, there's a war there, we get extra pussy. And they perpetuate the war in the neighbor's society so they can kill more men. Ultimately, when you look at what goes down with a lot of these wars, it's culling men. It has nothing to do with anything other than culling men. And it's connected to women not pulling their weight within society and lifting these bricks. Where's the women lifting these bricks? There's none. Because they're not holding up their end of the bargain. They're consumers. They don't produce anything. Or that's generalization. Some women produce things, but it's very rare. They want to do the managerial roles. They want to stand there and point at that guy lifting the bricks and go, move faster or we'll fire you. That's the female job. They don't respect work because very few actually do hard labor that keeps society running. Men are the ones that are getting down in the dirt, like that guy. You got to respect that guy. He's spending all of his day picking up bricks and moving them backwards and forwards so they can build these walls. And by supporting countries like Thailand, Colombia, these female-dominated societies, you're perpetuating violence in the world. Because I've noticed a direct correlation between them. Socialism, female-dominated societies that treat men terribly. Men within those societies don't trust each other. In this society, men are more trustworthy. They're less likely to be. They have more trust amongst each other because they're not having their wealth stolen from them and they're not being disrespected when they're the ones that are actually building society. And then it gets back to you guys, the guys that are holding the cash in Western societies. Please don't support trashy countries like Thailand. Like if this video could do anything, if I could convince you to never go to Thailand again, ever again, that piece of shit, female-dominated, tranny-run cunt of a country, I would be so happy. Because societies like that, if we have too many of them, World War IV will kick in, World War V, and it'll all be connected to this. Violent, disgusting societies like Thailand should not be supported with your money at all. And it does permeate, the butterfly effect, it does permeate back to your own country. So think about it that way. Instead of thinking about necessarily which is easier for you to go to, think which would be a more male-dominated, peaceful society where you can walk through a ghetto like this, untouched, unscathed, not have anyone harassing you or bothering you. And more societies like this will create a more peaceful world for everybody else. It's all connected. It's seriously all connected. So that's the point of today's video. Anyway, I just wanted to have a little bit of a philosophical discussion. See you later.